We're Street Boy Scaredy Pants from Boston, Massachusetts. Let's do this! Let us play a show in a trailer park! Hey there. Today I'm going to be talking about hardcore, and I just needed an intro that was hardcore, you know? You gotta be this tough dude bro sort of guy to be a hardcore dude. And I'm honestly nothing like that, but I feel like I pulled it off really well. But anyways, here we go. We're going to talk about hardcore today. I've been on a little bit of a hardcore kick lately anyways, with a little bit of punk mixed in. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about some of what I've been into. What's good hardcore? What's bad hardcore? Because if you're going to be hardcore, those are very, very, very important things that you need to know. So I'm going to educate you poorly. I personally have trouble taking a lot of hardcore music seriously because so much of it just sucks. Like, people call pop punk a very trite and overdone genre. I think hardcore is at least 10 times worse. Because let's face it, people say pop punk, the lyrics are stupid. Have you taken a look at the lyrics in hardcore music lately? So much of it doesn't make sense. Like, all these bands try to take on some attitude. They're either going to take a political standpoint towards things they probably don't know anything about. Chances are it's going to be a very liberal standpoint, and that's cool. I'm not dogging it, but it's just the stereotype, a very liberal standpoint, or else they're going to talk about self-empowerment and rising above things and making yourself better. And that's all good and all, but it doesn't make sense. Then, of course, so many of these bands sound the exact same, because let's face it, any asshole, including me, could tune my guitar into drop C sharp, and they just play chromatics all the time, like ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, and then the drums, like, when they want to make an impact, it's like, oh, we're gonna go halftime, and, like, that's okay, I get it, like, I get mad when I listen to it. It makes me want to stomp my feet and push someone, throw a baby off a cliff, something like that. I get it. I understand the rage. However, it's just overdone. It's really overdone, because every hardcore song nowadays just builds to a breakdown. And while that's cool, isn't that the same thing you guys hate? Hardcore dude bros, hear me out here. Okay, you guys hate A Day to Remember. And that's cool, but I don't get why you hate them, because A Day to Remember has a bunch of breakdowns, and sure, they're poppy, but isn't that what you guys like? Isn't that the exact same thing you guys like? Like, now there's a blurring line between what's hardcore and what's metalcore, and I'm not sure where that line ends, because now we have bands like Counterparts, The Ghost Inside, 100th, maybe even Parkway Drive, Stick to Your Guns, some other duty band, I don't know, help me out here. But these bands are all blurring lines, and don't get me wrong, none of them are bad bands at all. I really like some Counterparts, I really like some of the Ghost Inside, I dig 100th, but they're blurring the line so much between hardcore and metalcore, and I thought metalcore was the same thing you guys all claimed to hate. Right? Right? Before I get anywhere with you kiddos, I feel like I need to do like a hardcore show and tell to actually prove I maybe know a little bit of what I'm talking about, because let's face it, you guys argue a lot about your music, so here's what I got. Here's some of what I listen to. I listen to Terror, Live by the Code. It's actually the only Terror CD I have, so whatever. It's a pretty solid album. I could stomp to it. I could two-step to it. I have Code Orange Kids, their first EP, Cycles. They just changed their name to Code Orange, actually. They're having a new album release in September through Death Wish. That's going to be pretty cool. I'm actually pretty excited about that. Here's another really hardcore release. I have some Touche Amore also. This is Survived By. Good album. Not quite as heavy as their previous stuff, but I still really dig it. This is Parting the Sea Between Brightness and Me, and I really dig this one also. There's some good stuff on both of these, as well as the things they released before this, and this is Songs to Scream at the Sun from Have Heart. Not my favorite Have Heart record, but I still really dig it. Right now, I actually want to talk about a little band called Converge, and I don't know if I could say that I'm a fan of Converge because they are blistering. They are an abusive listen. I mean, you have some crazy instrumentalism going on there. You have crazy drumming. You have some dude playing the guitar mangling the neck. I mean, then you have some guy screaming bloody murder, but these guys have made like 9 albums, so they're really into what they do. And Jacob Bannon, I think he runs part of Death Wish. He does art. He does the cover art for some of the maybe all of the Converge albums. You've probably seen some of his stuff. It's crazy music, and recently, I gotta say, I think I'm finally getting it. It's music that I tolerated before, and I think I'm finally liking that. And part of that is in thanks to the BBC sessions. Highly recommend listening to that. Axe to Fall was actually the first Converge album I listened to back in 2009. 2009, I want to say, when that came out. And it's good. There's a song from that. There's 2 songs from the Hanging Moon album, and then there's another song from You Fail Me, and it's really good stuff. It gets a little technical at times, but it's still hardcore, and I really dig that because the punk side is still there. There's a lot of energy, and when they do decide to insert a breakdown or a heavier section, it doesn't feel forced. It's music that pushes itself along. And I definitely see myself listening to a lot more Converge because I'd been on a hardcore hiatus for a while, and Converge is the first band I came back to. And like I said, those BBC sessions are really good. Axe to Fall is really good. After that, I like Jane Doe also. Some of their older stuff is a little bit more thrashy. I haven't listened to all of it, but I know it's a little bit more thrashy. So if that's what you want to do, that might be up your alley too. I gotta say, I'm not necessarily a huge fan of Converge, but I respect them a lot for what they do because they're the cream of the crop. Then Touche Amore came out, and it's great music in my opinion. A lot of people don't like it because they don't know what to consider it. Some people don't call it hardcore. I think it's hardcore. It's punk music with a little bit of an edge to it, and it's not screamo. I wouldn't call it screamo. There's a lot of people that call it screamo or post-hardcore. I don't see that. But anyways, they play fast-paced hardcore punk music with clean guitars. I know you've heard of Touche Amore, but it's great music. I really like that. Again, they don't have all sorts of breakdowns. I don't think they really ever break down, but I dig their music, I dig their lyrics, and I dig the message. Is Survived By is an album all about making an impact before you die and what you want to be remembered for, and that's a really cool message coming from a hardcore album. I gotta say, sometimes Jeremy Bolm makes things come across as a little melodramatic, but I still really like it. I really like Parting the Sea. I would actually start with Parting the Sea before I moved on to Is Survived By, because Parting the Sea is a little bit more of a better taste as to what Touche Amore is all about. Highly recommend them also. Code Orange are kind of the new kids on the block. I feel like they are the band telling other hardcore bands of this generation to step it up, turn up the heat, or get out of the sauna, because wow, these guys have really blistering music between Love is Love, Return to Dust, their split with Full of Hell, their Cycles EP. They changed their name to Code Orange last month. They're coming out with a new album on September 2nd, and it's produced by Kurt from Converge, and he also produced the new Every Time I Die record, which I highly recommend also. But anyways, I really respect these guys too. I haven't fully gotten into them, but it's chaotic. It's chaotic. I think there's a little bit of everything for everyone in Love is Love, which I personally enjoy. There's some punk influence, there's some grindcore influence, there is a little bit of everything, and it is heavy, and it's really cool. Plus, I really like the fact they have 2 females who do vocals in the band. just because I think it's really cool. You never hear a hardcore band with some chick screaming. I think that sets them apart too. Not just the vocals, because musically, creatively, lyrically, they're a cut above everyone else. Listen to so many hardcore bands right now that all sound the same. I mean, I really like the genre, but it's really trite because there's like Backtrack, Suburban Scum, Harm's Way, Rotting Out. So many of these bands, and it gets to the point where you can't differentiate. Maybe not so much with Rotting Out, because Rotting Out has a lot of really good songs, but it's so formulaic, and I think Code Orange is doing a really good job at breaking the cycle. Plus, you can't think Code Orange Kids without thinking about the Kids Next Door on Cartoon Network. For tuning in. This has been Hardcore Talk here on the Pizza Party. I'm Dino Shores. This brought to you by Off-Shores.net. Check it out. Give us a follow on Twitter and check out the Bumpin' Hardcore playlist below. I'm the Dino Shores for Offshores, setting sail since 2013. Goodbye.